Let's go. All right, team, what's going on out there? That was an interesting pre-market prep. Now it's time to get to the live trading action. A lot of movement. I see you guys in the chat. You guys put stocks that you guys are concerned about or just want to talk about it. We'll get through the action. Let's get right to it. Live trading here, team. Smash the like. Let's get started.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, team. Sorry about a little bit of transition time between shows. As you know, Charles, I got to go to the one show to the other. So I sometimes just take a little second to just catch my breath, get ready for the new show. But I'm here with you guys, ready to get to the action. And, of course, we got Ryan Faloona in the back. We're going to get to it, team. We won't talk too much. I'll just go quickly into the SPY and review what I have, right? So the SPY for me, we've talked about this plenty of times, team, that we've been looking to see what's going to happen, right? Are we going to get back above the 415 or are we going to crack below the 408? We've made attempts to go to 408, 408.50 here. And then on the 7th, we were down there by those 408s. Now let's see what happens today. That's the danger area for me, really breaking the 408s. If we don't break that, there's no reason why we can't just also still just come back up towards that 415. We'll see what happens. I'm still swing trading Amazon, team. I got this one at 99.12 yesterday, was able to take profits through the 100, was holding on a little piece today. So we'll see what happens if this can get back towards 100. That's Amazon. ITW, I'm a little down on this one. Haven't been able to take profits. Was really looking towards 241 for profits today. We'll look to see if we get up there for ITW. And then UNG is the last swing trade that I have on today. Talked about it yesterday that I didn't want to see it break the 840 area. It closed right off of that 840 area. We'll look today to see if it can hold pullbacks towards 840s and get back up there towards the 885 and 890s. That's going to do it for my swing trade outlooks. And I'll go ahead and I'll kick it to Ryan. We'll take a look at some other trades. Like always, I'll be right back.
All right. So yeah, we got first of all, we got the PPI number here today. Market selling off on that print. We also have some headlines here. Fed President Meister is saying that there's a compelling case for a 50 bips hike. So I don't think 50 bips hikes have been priced into this market at all. And I think that if we ended up going that way, further downside would happen. We'll see if we get any more comments about that. This is really the first time that I can recall, because Chet, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys are saying my audio is a bit low. Let me know if that's the case, Mitch. I don't want to go off one report here. I haven't changed anything all week, and it's been fine. So skeptical on that. But in any case, anyway, back to the.
Make you louder, my friend.
Say again. Are we okay?
I'll make you louder. They want you louder. I got you.
It's up to them. It's all the levels are good on my end. So we'll see if there's any more talk about a 50 bips raise. That would definitely induce some more downside selling. We'll see if we end up getting that here. Now for today, I like when we get some of these down days again, because it's going to be very, very easy to find relative strength plays. And I think we're going to be able to do that today pretty easily. So not necessarily concerned about the overall market. Let's see what of the bigger blue chip stocks actually find support, and then maybe make some moves to the upside. I too have a swing trade that will go over effect. We'll just start with that outlook here. Swing trade possibility is going to be ADI. This is our I don't want to say famous because that would be wrong, but this is our much talked about floating island formation here. So what I have is a daily chart here. ADI had earnings, popped into a new high. This is actually a new all-time high, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go back to the monthly. Yes, it is. So new all-time high here. This is your traditional formation for a floating island. So what we want to do is we want to take note of the candle from yesterday, right? So we want to mark off the bottom of that candle, and we're going to mark the top of this candle. And basically what we want is we want this price to come in more towards that 191 handle. Even if it goes to 190, that would be fine too. Great that we're having a down day here today. This should help that movement. So we'll see if we get down to 191, 190, and we're able to hold that. Maybe even wait for tomorrow to see if we can confirm that. This should be pretty good. We're hoping to come down to that level and then curl back up towards that 196 and eventually breaking it. So of course you can trade this with stock here if you'd like. I'm looking at the options chain. It looks fairly liquid. You're not going to be able to take huge options positions. This is not something I'd take a huge position in anyway. It would just be a contract or two, maybe three, depending on the price here. So we're going to wait, see what these contracts open up at, see how ADI performs today. I have no position right now, but this could potentially be a swing long here. One more thing that I want to mention here is going to be Crocs, right? Our friend Jay Rice, who has been trading Crocs like a boss over the past several months here. We actually had a catalyst here. We had the earnings call. Crocs shares are trading higher if the companies have reported better than expected Q4 EPS and sales results and issued guidance above estimates. You can see Crocs popping here above the recent range. It's not a new all-time high, but it is on its way up. Jay, I could not remember what your price target was for liquidating this. I want to say it was close to 140, 145, but I could be mixing that up. In any case, we are going higher here today. If we take a look at the intraday chart, we did pop as high as 136.5, coming back in a little bit there, but we'll see how Crocs ends up trading today. Pat on the back for you, Jay. You have been on this. You have had the conviction on this for a long time. And now we are having another good earnings report here. So let's move over to the movers tool and take a look at some of the smaller cap trade or the smaller cap names that might give us trading opportunities here today. First one's going to be INZY. And while we have already been talking, we have broken that 306 high. So we do have a catalyst here. Inozyme Pharma shares are trading higher after the company reported top line data from its ongoing phase 1 and 2 trials of INZ 701. So this is one of the good trials. That's awesome. It looks like it's ongoing, so we don't have final results for that yet. Might be some more movement in the future. We popped as high as 306, came back into 276. Volume increased in the pre-market again, and we ripped through that. So again, the same strategy that I've been trying to apply here. I want to wait for these to come back in and find a support level before we end up trading them. The actual breaks to high haven't been great. The only difference there is that yesterday Roblox ran out of the gate. We were saying to be a wait on that one. The trade was right out of the gate. We'll see what happens here with some of these smaller cap names. I'm going to wait for these to set up as I don't know much or as much about these particular companies. Next one's going to be FRHC. This is Freedom Holdings, and we popped as high as 81.84 here. We do have a catalyst. Freedom Holdings shares are trading higher if the company announced it agreed to acquire Maxim Group for a total consideration of $400 million. So this one, it definitely requires a little bit more digging in. I've actually never traded this name here before. I'm definitely going to look into this as I have some more time here today, but it is making an interesting formation here in the pre-market. Let's see what happens when the market actually opens and when we get some of that increased volume. CISO, I feel like we've traded this one before. I know we've traded Hexo before, which is next on this list here. CISO, we'll see. This popped as high as 162, came all the way back into 105. Let's see if we had announces termination of public offering of common stock. This one, probably not the best target, but worth mentioning because we've carved out a 60-cent range here in the pre-market. We'll check back in when the market actually opens here. By the way, as I'm talking here, SPY moving again towards the lows. So 409 now, new low print here on the day for SPY. We'll keep checking in on that. Next here is going to be Hexo. Hexo, let's go ahead. These lines were from yesterday. I haven't drawn any new lines here. So this is, if we take a look, not from yesterday, excuse me. If we take a look and we go back, you can see the last time that this was popping up, we actually had a couple of these, right? We blew through this 234, which was the previous high. We were doing a double top here right around $2. We're through that. We're actually currently sitting right below that. So what's great about this is we can use some of these previous key levels to determine the strength of Hexo here today. I've got the VWAP here at 201. So the first step here is going to be closing that gap between the current price and the VWAP. And that's about 21 cents from where we're at. So we'll see if Hexo can get going. We've traded this one before for sure. low price stock should give us some opportunities here today. Next is going to be Roku. And Roku, of course, this is another earnings play here. We actually popped as high as $77. Roku shares are trading higher. The company reported better than expected Q4 results. Company added 4.6 million net new native accounts in the quarter. The thing about Roku here is that they don't really have content, right? I think we've talked about this in the chat before. People love their Roku TVs. They love their Roku sticks. They love the hardware, but it's not a content play. And that makes me wonder what kind of long-term strength it actually has. So we'll see. We might get some ability to trade this here today. We've got a pretty decent range, right? 66 to 77. So an 11-point range carved out by just the pre-market here today. One of the things that I want to do is I probably pay attention to the VWAP here on Roku. We start to move above the VWAP and we have any type of momentum or strength, probably good for a long side trade. Options would be pretty good on this. Roku options are generally pretty liquid and pretty easy to trade. So we should be able to do that without issue. We are definitely going to be taking a look at the different ETFs, right? SOXS, SQQQ, all of that, depending on what the market is doing. Don't really need to do that just yet. We'll wait till the market opens and see what happens here. Going to be trying to use those to enter on reversals like we did in the past. If one of those instruments comes down and it looks like it's trading sideways and starts to curl back up, that might be the potential entry. We'll take those on a case-by-case basis. Next here, we have GNS. And GNS, we've mentioned this a lot on the show. This has been traded by quite a few of you in the chat here. So GNS making some more moves today. Makes sense to go ahead and add another line here for the high. That is going to be 766. If we back out to a 15-minute chart, you can see that this has really gone through a number of different levels. It's taken legs up and legs down, and we've been there at every step of the way. Today is going to be no different. From today's formation, however, one of the things that's encouraging is that we did go all the way down to 628. We actually overshot it a little bit on the way to 6, but we were able to kind of hang in there. Looking at where we're at right now, this to me feels like no man's land. So what I would love to see is either another down move to a support level and then confirm that support, or maybe a move back up towards VWAP and a cross on VWAP on momentum. We'll see what we end up getting. GNS has kind of been back and forth, but worth noting that we have had multiple successful trades on this. And in some cases, there were multiple opportunities in the day. So even if we don't get an opportunity early on here, want to keep this on radar and see what we have throughout the rest of the day. Last one here on the list that I really want to cover is going to be space. This is, of course, Virgin Galactic. The interesting thing here is that this level here, this 650 to 660 area, definitely some resistance. Now we'll see if we end up getting above this. When this stock runs, it runs, and it can make for some real great trading. So to me, the first thing that I want to see here is, do we actually clear out this 650 area? Sure, we could probably find some more areas in here, 615 or so, but the big one here going to be 653 or 592. I guess you could call that 6. We'll pay attention to the VWAP. Intraday here, that's probably going to give us the roadmap. Boyle's on this list here. UNG's on this list here. I know every day people seem to be talking about natural gas. We'll be taking a look at natural gas again here. Natural gas, the actual price of the natural gas futures contract at 250, down from the 255 high. So let's see if we are finding some support, or do we continue to break down? We've talked about it before. Natural gas is the widowmaker. Not easy to trade. Been choppy. Been back and forth quite a bit here. So been difficult to actually swing any of those natural gas related stocks overnight. All right, Mitch, that's about all I got. You want to go through the chat? Want to go through any other stocks that you're taking a look at? We got about 6 minutes here before we open, so we've got plenty of time to cover what our viewers are looking at here today.
Ooh, look what's on the bottom of this one. The Chaikin money flow. You guys know Chaikin? Just had him on pre-market prep. He actually made this indicator. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, guys. Check that out if you guys have ever checked out, or you like to look into different indicators. That's the Chaikin money flow indicator. We'll take a look at this. But really what this is my kind of my alert sheet here. So what I want to do a little bit more for stocks out there, team, and you guys out there. So please hit the like for this, because really I'm going to start trying to work for you guys a little bit more, right? Like always, I try to go ahead and do as much as I can for you guys. So what I'm thinking here is I have a lot of alerts that I can set on my TC2000. So I want to go through stocks for you guys. Just name levels that we want to be alerted on, especially maybe some of those smaller names that get the quick spike. What's the breakout level? Let me know. I'll set the alerts here. And then there we go. We can be alerted to when these names start moving. So that way I can call them out for you, right? I think that's definitely important to try to do if we can. We'll take a look at that action there. Ryan, you ready? There you go. You hopping back in. There you go. We'll see what happens on this. But yeah, if you guys have levels, let me know because I'm going to be setting as many as alerts as you guys want, right? Like I had set this GNS alert there, and we had done 650s. We've tried to get up there to the 7 multiple times. We'll look to see what happens on GNS today. Can it get back up there, right? It did do a little spike in the pre-market, but some of the growth names are selling off today, so just be careful on these names. We'll keep rolling. All right, I did see a lot of stocks mentioned there, so I'll try to start going through some of these, just seeing what I can see here. EXPI, did you go through that one, Ryan?
I'm sorry? No, I didn't.
EXPI?
I did not cover
perfect.
EXPI today, no.
Just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to double cover there, but definitely this looks good off the 15. Nice eyes out there, Quantum. Always love to hear your kind of outlook there because, like always, I can find stocks that I wasn't looking at, but now seem interesting. Sorry if Hendrix is taking over the screen. He likes to sometimes take over. And we'll see. EXPI, 1 hour chart, looks interesting. Definitely if we can get back above 16, we're going to set the alert there, right? We'll set it right up towards... I'll do 1600 right now. If we get it to 16, I'll alert. We'll see what happens there. EXPI looks kind of like a little, you could call it like a declining triangle here. And then you see on the top hand side, you get a nice support below it at 15. Look for potentially a red to green move that fills this little tiny gap to the left-hand side and then comes right back up. That's what I'd be looking for on that EXPI. But like always, you guys choose how you're looking at it. Tesla. Well, Tesla's going to be all about just kind of keep holding these pullbacks towards around 205. I think it can pull back to 205. You really don't want to see it back down to 200. That's where I think it could break down. But we're still below even my levels of 211. We'll see what happens on Tesla. I still think it could ramp. But if the market's coming down today, be careful on a name like that. For Tesla, really what we'll do is we'll just set an alert at like kind of new highs. If it gets to 217 today, I'll alert on Tesla, but we'll leave it alone for right now. Just trying to keep going through these names. BTBT, you're talking about Bit Digital. Of course, this is kind of more of a smaller name, but the Bitcoin has been having a nice little push this morning. Could push again, right? Well, look at this Harmy turnaround. That's where I'd put the line because look how you went right to it. 169. Where's that Harmy closed? 169. So look to see what happens if you can get back above 169. That's the alert for the upside action. All right, I'll go ahead and I'll set an alert there to see if it can get back above that 169. And I'll let you guys know when these kind of pop or not. NVIDIA. NVIDIA is all about resistance above towards 230s, and a pullback could come back towards 200. One of the things with NVIDIA is you can clearly see also what? It's been holding this trend. Let's see if that trend finally breaks, or you could look at it on a 9 EMA. I just don't have EMAs on this right now or SMAs. I just kind of kept it simple. Look also how the money flow. Look how the money flow went from red down here towards expanding towards into December. But look at the expansion that you got on this move. That just shows you how much like the bulls came in on that move for NVIDIA. And it could pull back, right? We'll see what happens there. All right, that's NVIDIA. I'll keep going. For me on NVIDIA, it's kind of more if it breaks 220s, you could get a little lower towards this trend line. Above the 228s is where you're looking for more of the breakout level. I'll put it towards that breakout level of around 229 level. We'll look to see if it gets up there or not. AMD, one more for you guys. TQQQ is a little bit different. That, like always, that's kind of more intraday action. I would wait towards the intraday action, but we can talk about it right now. AMD's pulling back. 1 up, down 1, 2 up, 2 down, 3 up, 3 down. Well, I look to see it hold 81 on pullbacks. Look to that 81, 80, 90 to hold, and then we'll look for red to green coming back towards 85. 85 shows up. Definitely you can have a nice little push in AMD. We'll see if it gets back up there.
We're
All right,
open.
team,
Okay.
8:30. Let's do this, team. Like always, if you guys see anything moving fast, let us know. We'll be watching.
Yeah, one thing here, Kennedy, who was ripping on us earlier here, wants to know about RDW now. RDW, I actually want to know from you what's going on here. I do see it actually had a great move yesterday. That would have been really awesome to trade. It actually looks pretty easy too. Really just stayed above the VWAP the entire day yesterday. So pretty awesome day trade yesterday. I was looking into this. This looks like this is involved in space in one way or another. It looks like it's kind of a vague description there. Mission critical space, blah, 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 blah. I didn't see any news yesterday, so I'm kind of wondering what the big volume pop was here today. Or what the big move was yesterday, excuse me. We need to see that volume for this to pop here again today. Looks like it's trying to break above 405, 454, going to be your pre-market high print that happened right at the open of the pre-market. Let's see where this ends up going. We are breaking down from that attempted VWAP cross. I am looking, I would like to know from you, Kennedy, what is your thesis on this? You gave no context. You literally just typed in tickers a few times. So what are you looking at here? Do you know anything about this? Is this on your radar for a specific reason? Is this related at all to Virgin Galactic, which we saw up on the movers tool here today? Give us some more context here for this one. Definitely watch it. Maybe this could be a trade. We get some increased volume here and a move above 405. Maybe we can get a trade here. So far, though, I don't see it yet. So let us know if you have any more context on RDW. Good spot, though. That would have been awesome yesterday. I'm disappointed we didn't have that yesterday, to be honest. All right, checking out the relative volume scanner. Let me go ahead and get their options rolling for today. Let's watch our option flow. ENPH puts out of the gate. Someone was mentioning ENPH earlier. Was that Lori, I think, maybe? Let's take a look at ENPH.
Keeping an eye out there. You are getting some big pullbacks here at the gates, but it's not as bad as it is looking out there. I'm looking at maybe UAL for a swing trade today. I've talked about that on my show. So I'm looking to get a little starter already on UAL.
Yeah, so EMPH, this recently in a downtrend here, good job holding 200. So the way I'm looking at EMPH here, I'm not sure what the next move is. I don't necessarily have a read on what the next move is here, but it's done a good job defending that 200 level. As long as that continues here, I'd like this to try and curl back up towards the highs. So maybe you can wait, especially on a day like today, if the market's going to keep selling off. Maybe we can wait this out and get a little bit better entry there closer to that 200. But for me, as long as it holds that 200, decent attempt here to the long side. For me, if it breaks 200, I'm out. I'm going to wait for it to settle down. I'm not sure where some of these alternative energy stocks are going to go. I believe there's a lot of hype in a lot of them, despite our need for them. So we'll see. The EMPH has been a really, really great trader. And in fact, we had a lot of people trading the options on EMPH here in this chat, and the options can make some pretty good money. So we'll keep an eye on EMPH. To me, this is just trade this against 200. If you're going to take it here, trade it against 200 and hope for a break of 234 to the upside here.
All right, keep looking out there to see what's going on, see what we're going to get, if we get anything leaking into the green. Every sector down from the open, just to put that in perspective. Consumer cyclical and technology at the bottom, and that's not what you want to see if you're a bull. Those are the ones that have been leading, right? Technology and consumer cyclical, the high beta names. We'll see what happens today.
Nexi right here. This is a penny stock. I'm not going to trade this with it being under $1, but worth mentioning here. Got a great formation trying to take out the 79-cent pre-market high. We'll see, and it's on good volume here out of the open. So let's see on Nexi. We do have a catalyst here. And I'm trying to watch the price at the same time. Neximmune shares are trading higher after the company announced data showing AIM ACT T cells enhance the response of bispecific T cell engager therapy. We are breaking now above that 79-cent high. So let's see if we get a little push here on Nexi. Again, no position, not going to trade this here myself. Just mentioning it because this follows our pattern here. This is actually in our therapeutic pharmaceutical theme that we've identified here for potential day trades. So Nexi here breaking that 79. We went as high as 81 cents, maybe 81 and a half. We'll see if we can go any higher here. AM, you guys are talking about.
Trying to get a dip fill on UAL for a swing. Did get out of that Amazon swing. We took first profits, break even on the rest. That's what I love about swing trading, team, is that I can take those first profits and just get out, break even on the rest. And that's just keep working it, right? That's what it's all about. All right, trying to get into UAL down towards 49s and below that 49. I'll look to see what happens on this one. This is an airline trade. Going to look to see if we can get back up there to 51s. SPY overall coming down a little bit here, but it's really not just leaking too much. We'll see what happens if we're able to get a bounce back towards the 408.
Ron, I think we might need to get together on a screen share or something. I don't really think I understand the issues, and you're right. This is not the time. Shoot me an email. Let's work on a time to get on a screen share together, and I'll take a look. The error message, that one error message regarding the relative volume field, doesn't create any issue. I've been asking around and looking for it. So let's do that later today. Shoot me an email. AM here, moving right off of the scanner. This is great job by the chat here. This was actually not on my list here. Looks like a bunch of you are on this. W. Great move here through 226. Huge power move. Actually went right through 252. So we're about 70 cents higher here. Actually went through 3. AM really, really strong. Do we have news on this?
Starter filled there in UAL for the swing.
Announced initial data from its trial. Okay.
Out of ITW, stopped out on that one. I'd say stop out there. So just keep your eyes on that.
AM news looks good here.
Starting to get some fills there on UAL. Two fills on UAL so far. Entry average 49.03. Gonna look to see if the spot can come back up.
Market more lows. It looks like it tried to bounce right there out of the gate. That bounce barely even lasted a few minutes. Just got slammed to the lows here.
Sorry, team, if I'm a little quiet. I'm just trying to pay attention right here out the gates. It's a little bit of a fast market right now. So pullback for TQQQ, I would look for around 2450s to hold. You need to come back towards 25 too. So that's kind of what I'm looking to see if we bottom first before jumping in too much. UAL is more of like a daily pullback opportunity for me that I'm going after for the swing.
And Cisco strong out of the gate here.
Cisco strong.
Lot of price target adjustments and rating adjustments here on Cisco. Look for this one. To have a pretty decent day. You know, some of these looks like we're right at the actual price target. So we'll see how much movement we actually get in here. It looks like a good day for Cisco on the backs of a good print.
All right, with that Cisco move, you can look for maybe some other names in that area to get the lift here. I'm going to call out one that it does look good there, Juniper. Juniper looks interesting. Levels about 3170s. There's some resistance right above here in the 60s. Pre-market, it was already getting that spike, and that was from Cisco. So maybe we look for a pullback towards VWAP, 3147, 45s, around that area on the pullback. 3140s doesn't look too bad. We'll see what happens. Juniper Network, that would be a move off of sympathy from Cisco. Look at UAL, not looking too bad now as I'm starting to get it back up there. And we're in at 49.03, dip buy there for UAL off the daily chart. Going to look for it to come back there to 51. This is kind of more of that swing trade that you guys would see on Start Swing Trading. Let's keep going. Let's get back to the action.
Veru, great shout here, Jay. Veru, we've traded this a whole bunch here before. Veru actually into a gap, right? So we got a gap area between 456 and 513. Veru into that gap here. Let's see if this gap fills. Veru strong out of the gate for sure. You can see it really kind of had a little bit of a battle there. 456. I'd love to see this volume increase, but to my eye here, it looks like Veru is going to try to fill this gap to about 5 and change. 513 is the number I have, excuse me. AM halted here to the upside. Yep, big move here on AM. Congrats to anyone that took this. I'm sorry this wasn't on my list here this morning. Nice move out of the gate. This is why our community is the best. Even though it wasn't on my list, you had the chat all over it. Great stuff here. Make sure that you, like, just like yesterday, we talked about, I think it was Hyper that was halted yesterday. Make sure you take some of these gains. It just started snowing here in Chicago, so my day is looking up. That is absolutely awesome. I hope this turns into a full-on blizzard. That would be spectacular. Okay, also CRDO. Looks like we had a halt here. CDRO. Oh, it was Jay. You were mentioning CRDO yesterday, right? Yeah, and this is CDRO, completely unrelated, low volume. Got it. Got faked out there. Sorry about that. We'll see what happens with AM when it opens. That was a nice power move on AM on the backs of that phase 1 and 2 trial data.
Pretty close towards that 81 bottoming action there for AMD. Keeping an eye on that one because it would be a nice move if we could come back. Sierra making that little lift there on the 217s. We'll look to see if it gets above. I know you guys watched that one yesterday. It did get the lift, especially towards the end of the day. Wouldn't you know that one, Ryan? But resistance to that one is coming right towards it around 215. Now starting to push that Sierra to the left here. Look to see if that can push higher towards the 240s.
Yeah, that was when we were looking at what, yesterday or the day before?
Yesterday, I think.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, on that pop. So it like when sideways on the $2 towards the close, 4 p.m., it pops to 247.
Sydney, great thought process here. So Sydney's saying that Juniper and Cisco have gone together in the past. So they've traded together in the past. Now, we did have Cisco report earnings. Looks really, really good. Cisco trading up here. By the way, Cisco CEO currently on CNBC. So that might also be contributing to the price. But Sydney giving you a sympathy play here, right? Juniper. If Juniper, hey, Hendricks, how's it going, my man? If I love when the tail goes in front of the camera. That'll never get old. If Juniper does actually trade along with Cisco, maybe this is where there's some action. We actually did look like we popped as high as 32.71 here in the pre-market. Might be worth keeping an eye on Juniper, especially if Cisco remains strong here today. Nice relationship trade there.
This Hendricks trying to cost me some money, trying to rug pull me over here. Oh, man. GNS looking nice, says grateful to God. Just wanted to note that. Let's go to the
AI names were down here this morning, although we're trying to bounce down about 3% here on AI, ticker AI, that is C3 AI. See if that can get some strength. Honestly, at this point, with the strong move that this has had, really kind of having a break wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you wanted this for higher. We are starting to have a downtrend here. Actually, let's adjust that. Capture
Tesla
these candles
higher,
here.
team Tesla higher. That looks
see.
strong. I actually like Tesla right now. If it can pull back towards 211.50s. Let's go. Give me that 211.50 try.
Crocs 142. Man, where is Jay Rice when we need him? Crocs, massive move right out of the open. Took that pre-market high out, kept running here. Jay had a longer term approach on Crocs, but if you have a shorter term approach on Crocs, that is a good move. Up 12.8% here. Massive move on Crocs. Take some of those gains if you have them, folks.
Order out to get some Tesla on pullback. Didn't get the fill there. I put 211.50s and lowered it right below that towards the 211s. We'll see what happens there if I do get a pullback fill for Tesla. Looks interesting if I can get a nice little pullback closer towards the 211s and then see if it could take off on some hourly level back up. We'll see what
AM
happens there.
AM open. First move is higher. Looks like it met some sellers here, but it is trying to resume higher here on AM. Again, if you had this from this 226 break, definitely take some of it off the table here. This could very easily come back and halt to the downside. If you think this has got some more oomph to the upside, then maybe peel some of your position off, book some of those gains, and hold the rest here. But have a plan in case this moves in either direction. This thing massively extended, up 95% here today on AM. That's Ambrx Biopharma.
Starter there on that Tesla pullback there, just had it sitting and it came right back to my level, filled me, and it's right back up. That's what you want to see sometimes. Instant fill back to the upside. That's why you put those pullback limits sometimes, team. I just leveled it in there. I put 211.51. I put 211.10s and 210.98. So like layering it down right towards that 211 for pullback fills. Now it's okay to even get those fills. The key here is now that we're kind of in this little small rule of three. So it's up one, down one, up two, down two. Could even do an up three towards 212.50s and then eventually get towards the 213 area. That's the breakout level we want to see to the upside.
AM pulling back here now. Careful on that. Gave you that plan. You guys are talking a little bit about Sarah. So as far as Sarah goes, here's one of the things. Let me put my screen up here. One of the things that Sarah, so grateful to God. Sorry, I've got to get my head straight here. Ryan, Sarah played us all yesterday. Did Mitch tell you? Mitch didn't have to tell me because I got stopped out on it. So I was well aware that it played, but look what we got, right? I know it didn't happen right after lunch. It happened quite late in the afternoon, but we've been noticing. No, I'm not going to click that. No. We've been noticing this type of phenomenon, right? We have that early strength. Stock kind of comes back in, and then it just rockets through the VWAP on the increased volume. So we did actually get a trading opportunity later in the day here. Pretty awesome, too. 197 as high as 245. You could have taken half of that move and had a pretty good scalp there. So Sarah ended up giving us the move way late in the day after giving us a fake out here in the morning. So I definitely got played. You're right about that. But Sarah, it ended up giving a trade. So why some of these names that we see that have strength in the morning, really need to watch them. Just get a scratch pad of paper and write your tickers down on it. Keep it handy. Check in on them later. Identify your key levels. Best if you can put them on the chart. So if you're looking at something else, you don't have to, you don't confuse those numbers with another ticker or something like that. Just write them down and make sure you go back to those. Set alerts, right? Set alerts for any type of price action. Sarah gave us a trade here. Now it'll be interesting to see if we get another trade here today on Sarah. We are kind of huddling right around the VWAP, but the volume not notable at all here today, at least not at this point. So no idea on Sarah just yet. We shall see if we end up getting a move here later.
There's Tesla towards the 213s. We went up towards 212.94. That's looking good. I'm also looking for a play in AMD here. Just wanted to come back and test 8140s one more time and then start scooping back towards 82. Looking at AMD. SPY still kind of holding down here towards the 409, but we're putting in a big wick on the hourly. Shows that there was some buying pressure that came in there. We'll look to see if we come back towards the 408.50s. That's going to be the test for the downside. But if we start holding VWAP, holding 410s, we can get the push. Tesla with a nice little push there towards the 213s. Now towards 213s 28. We have an entry on Tesla 211.51. Wasn't able to get the ads on Tesla, so I'm going to cancel on those ads for right now. I can always get back towards those, but just keep an eye out on there.
INZY, you guys are all over this. Absolutely love it. INZY, nice little curl here through the VWAP. Looks like that volume is trying to expand here. So INZY, this might be on deck here. I got the VWAP about 304, 305. So we're right there. We're right there. If we can get this, if this volume continues to get bigger, I think it's probably all right to take here. INZY.
All right. SPY went back towards the VWAP, then came right back below. We'll see what happens on that one. Let's keep playing, team. Let's keep focused, right? Always just try to stay into the now, stay in the zone. I'm feeling a little in the zone, and that's a lot of it is just focusing on what I'm doing, right? Not trying to get so much into the noise. I know that sometimes is how we all get caught.
I will pass all of the lovely things you folks are saying about Zunaid on to Zunaid. Don't forget, guys, Zunaid has an esports career that he has to pay attention to as well. That's why he's taking some time off. But we will send all of the kind words over to him. Really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, Sydney, you saw those movies? I was watching them too. Zunaid's doing those voiceovers for Bollywood.
Sydney got all the jokes. All the jokes.
Always. All right, so remember I talked about that AMD one more down move, then look for the reversal. That's exactly what we're looking like right now. This is a bearish trend. So instead of jumping early to the trend, I want to see it catch those. So it's going towards that 8140 breakdown. But if it reverses here, comes back up through 82, it's going to trap some of the shorts. We'll see what happens here. Tesla higher, that looks good for me. So just going to stop focusing on the Tesla trade there. UAL looking good there for the swing. AMD just bounced off that 8150 there. That looks good there for me. I'm going to start trying to get in this one. Order out there just to start trying to get in it. We'll look to see if we can get a little pullback fill here.
CYH, nice move here. Yep, Roku strength. Actually, Roku might look good here. With you, Marky. Roku staying strong so far. So that little dip right out of the open totally bought up. Let's see if we can actually move through 72 here on Roku. What do those calls look like? What do those call? Let's take a look.
Trying to get a fill here on AMD. Still no fill yet.
All right, so for Roku here, for potential Roku trade, really want to see it move through this 72 level. Let's see if we get the, yeah, really want to see it move through 72. I think with Roku here, I like the March 75 contract. Currently has an ask of 415. Shot up to 420 right there. That March 15, or excuse me, March 17, $75 contract, $75 strike. I like that contract here for a potential trade. Roku, what we really want to see is have a push and a move back towards the pre-market high. That 75 contract would be in the money at that point then. So if you're going to look at Roku here, not a bad idea here. If you're going to trade options, if you want to be nimble on the options here, maybe set a stop right beneath VWAP. And then I'm kind of tempted to take this myself, guys. I'm tempted. You guys are getting me tempted.
All right, there's the first move for AMD back towards the upside. I got it in on a starter position. Willing to add down there towards 8150s. But if it doesn't come back, it doesn't come back. Look at Tesla rip there. Nice little push on Tesla towards the 214, almost 215 now. We're up a decent amount on Tesla now. We're up almost like 4 points. So let's go, Mitch. Let's keep battling back. Look at AMD back to the upside. Let's go. 82, an important spot. It went to 82, turned back and pulled back. Let's see if we can close this above 82 and through that VWAP, start trapping those shorts. I would want to see the SPY now push higher and see if we can push to 410s. We'll see if we get that action. I did get some alerts going off there, so I need to kind of check on that. I'll check on that for you guys. All right, so let's go to those alerts. What's going off here?
It was mine. It was mine. It was mine.
NVIDIA trying to go higher. That doesn't look too bad. BTBT starting to make a little bit of an up move from the pullback towards 150. That doesn't look too bad. We talked about Tesla earlier. That looks good. Really, 217s is that breakout spot. So we'll look to see if we get back there. EXPI, nice little move to 1525s now bouncing. Quantum brought this one up. Really nice move there. 15 to 25 to 1574. That's a 3.2% move already. EXPI having a decent day there, team. X is also one that I'll be looking for a little bit later. What you got for me?
Roku through that 72. Those contracts that we identified ask 455 now from that 415 ask. So we're up about 35 cents here on that one contract. Again, that is the March monthly 75 expiry contract there. Who was this that brought this to our attention? Awesome stuff. Definitely want to shout you out for that. Can't find it in the chat here. I think it was Marky. Marky, we identified Roku off the movers tool here today. We're getting a nice move here after it's staying strong after that dip. Way to stick with it here, Marky. This stock looks good, or this trade here looks good. We'll be looking for 5+ on these contracts if we get them. Again, stop down at a breakthrough VWAP here, just with it being an option contract.
Para running. Sally, alert for Sally. She's putting it out there. Para on the run. You guys always choose your levels, but definitely Para did get a little bit of a push there. We'll see the SPY pulling back now. Just be careful out there, team. 945, kind of peaking out there towards the 409.50s. Now we're coming back down. The key level on the downside is 408. If we go down to there, that's where you got to be a little bit careful. AMD coming right back down here. Going to look to see if it holds the 81.43s for fills on pullbacks here. I still have 81.50 out there.
As we await Roku to move higher here, looking good so far here on Roku. One of the other stocks here that's getting mentioned is Roblox, right? We talked about this yesterday. Roblox ran out of the gate. It's criminal because this is the type of reaction we wanted to see. This is the type of action we wanted to see yesterday, right? Holding that level, little bit of a dip, only to have the buyers come in and take it higher here. Nice little rip through VWAP. This is a nice $2.50 move here on Roblox. This continued strength after yesterday's earnings print, or after yesterday's session, which was from an earnings.
Kind of trappy open here, but a lot of wicks to the downside, showing that I do see some buying pressure there. The only thing is, will it get wiped out? We have to pay attention to this. All right, seeing if AMD can get back through the 82s here and through the VWAP. It got close to the VWAP last time, went to 82.12s. VWAP was 82.15. Want to see it get through that 82. SPY still holding in there, still battling. Look how this on the 5-minute, rewind it a little bit. You could see how you have like this little trend line. A lot of wicks on the downside action here. Really, you got to be careful for closing below 408.70s. But if we can get back to 410, turn this candle green, I think we start getting back towards the upside of some of that decline that we got in the pre-market.
Roku's struggling with this 72 level. This is going to be make or break for Roku. We really wanted to take this out and keep moving here. Come on, Roku. Give us a push. Give us a push. Let's get these contracts above 5 and get 25% gain at least on them. Come on now, Roku.
Oh, Juniper went to 31.50, not to 31.40s though. Was keeping an eye on that one to see if it's going to get a little higher.
Keeping an eye on the VIX here today too, right? Every time VIX has dipped into the 18 handle, we've ended up bouncing. This is exactly what happened. We got as low as 1811 on that VIX, currently at 1977. So pretty big bounce after that. Roku, again, still struggling with the 72 level. Would love to see this move a little bit more. At this point, stop at break even. With the options, it's a little bit more difficult to throw that stop out there. So I would just kind of have it as a mental stop, not a hard stop placed in the broker. But don't necessarily want this trade to move against you, at least not too much. Come on, Roku, let's go. Push higher. We need that volume to really kind of creep up here a little bit. Or just straight up expand. All right, Ryan, you're looking at Riot and Mara. Those were fun yesterday. How are those doing here today? Let me bring that up on a different chart. By the way, INZY, which we talked about, still hugging its VWAP. The chart looks like it wants to push away from the VWAP, but has not materialized yet. Let me take a look here at Riot, good move off of the from the open here, off of its daily pivot. Mara, same thing. Looking around here, don't see anything else new.
SPY approaching and just testing lows, but just be careful down there, team. We'll see what happens. I'll let you know if it does crack important levels.
RDW. This was Kennedy, K. Kennedy from earlier. RDW, little dip out of the open, but nice move back to the VWAP and holding above the VWAP. So what I like here is if we're able to kind of trade sideways and build above this VWAP, you might see a pop in volume, which would take this here to the upside. Honestly, at this point now, if we end up rolling through 4 here, we might get some juice, right? We might get some juice. And even if you go to 420, pretty decent scalp here from 390 or from that VWAP if that's what you're playing. So RDW here, this was not on my list. Kennedy, shout out to you for bringing this up and putting it on our radar. That gives us another stock here to watch. The other thing with RDW here is this might be one of those that's kind of muted in the morning only to go or have that big pop later in the afternoon. So RDW, definitely write that down on your notepad. In fact, I'm going to take my own advice and write that down now. No position in RDW, but we will be watching this. We will be watching this. Awesome stuff.
All right, battling in. Let's see what else is going on. All right, SPY battling back up there towards 409.06. We'll see if we can get to the 410s. Still battling in here for AMD. I canceled my buys just because if we do crack down now on AMD, it could still go through that low of 81.55s. So now it's kind of like this uptrend. It's more like a symmetrical triangle on the wedge now outlook here. You can see how there's 2 trend lines here. This is where it gets a little bit dangerous. We'll see what happens right now. Keeping a close eye on that AMD. Don't really want to give it even too much of a downside risk here. The spikes should still break down. So I'm holding towards the 81.43s. But if that goes, I got to go. The spike
and so cracks. Speaking of SPY, it looks like we're going to retest that low here on SPY. Roku back above 72. Gotta love it. Let's get that push. Let's get that push. SPY, however, though, looks like it's trying to retest that low. Let's see if we end up breaking that, or if we can hold this. 408.24. Let's see where we go here. It feels heavy. It feels like this is going to break to the downside, but we don't want to make an early call on that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. There you guys have it. Boom. Just got hit there in AMD. Take the really tiny stop out here versus trying to battle with the market overall. We didn't get the 410 move, so I can just wait till we get that move. And it could reverse from here, but I'm not going to let it just kind of wipe me out there on AMD. I'd rather get out of that name right there. And I was close. I was down there. Could have got stop hunted right there towards 81.38 was the stop there. So not looking too bad. We'll look to see what happens there. Tesla still have I would get out at 211.50s, but it did bounce there above. VWAP is towards 212.11s. So definitely don't want to see it get all the way down there towards like kind of the 211s. Will the SPY come back? It could come back. Did do that fake out to the downside there on that pattern. You guys see?
Yeah, I'm almost thinking it could bounce off low of day, Mitch, right? That would be great. That if it was able to bounce off that low of day, that should give us some confidence for some of these other trades. I'll be honest with the Roku trade here. If that SPY breaks to the downside, I think that's probably going to end up taking a lot of these names with it. So that'd probably be a catalyst to exit here. Only up about 30 cents from the 415 entry, but it's not over just yet. Rafamilia, where do I get Benzinga from? You can go to pro.benzinga.com, sign up right from the website. Good question.
All right, looking at BTU. This one doesn't look too bad on the daily chart. Did do a little bit of a spike in the last 2 days. Going to look to see if we can get back above 30s today. That's the important level to watch for the breakout to the upside. Again, we spiked into 30s this morning, so I'm looking really closely at this one. Might take a shot there towards the upside. SPY is starting to come back.
Here we go. This is why we wait that out, right? This is why we're waiting that out. You love to see it, folks. Uh-oh. Hopefully Mitch is okay. Uh-oh. Looks like Hendricks was getting naughty. Looks like Hendricks was getting naughty, folks. See if this market has any strength to bounce right here.
Sorry about that, team. Hendricks is getting annoying.
So I called it. I said, Hendricks, I saw you in the background. I was like, Hendricks is getting naughty. That's hilarious.
Dude, I'm trying to make money here, Hendricks. Hendricks is just like, look at me. I'm going to cover your screen now.
Look at me. Come on, Roku. We really just need a push. This trade's just hanging on the razor's edge right now. Come on.
SPY just playing with people to the downside. We'll see if we actually get that downside level, but it could still just break up to the upside. So keeping a close eye on these names. There's a little move to the upside. I'm going to take a little bit of BTU here. Took a starter there on BTU.
Yeah, Jay. I've seen that. It's not my first rodeo, Jay. I've seen that before.
All right, trying to get into BTU here. It's already popping a little bit. We got a starter there at 29.79. We'll look to see if that keeps going, but taking another trade here for you guys. I'm on the coal trade here. We'll look to see if it gets back through the 30s. 30s is where it could pop. SPY trying to come back. Of course, we'll look to see if it can even make it to the VWAP. VWAP 409.45. 410 move is the move, I think, for the upside action. But we still haven't gotten that yet. You just got a little bit of a turnaround there around the 408.70 level. Look to see if it comes back up.
Daddy backstrap, Ryan, careful with the Roku contracts. A lot of value priced into them already from earnings. Could drain quick if the chop continues. You are exactly right. So first of all, full disclosure, it's one contract. So it's not really going to be the end of the world. Here we go, Roku. Let's go. Now it's breaking out. Let's go. Roku. But you make a really good point here, right? So one of the things that we're trying to capture here, one of the reasons we're using options, we're trying to capture the momentum move, right? So they have that earnings momentum behind them. Would love to see that push a little bit more, give us a little bit more of that move, and then capture some of that. Would it have been great to have some of these contracts prior to the print and have a nice big move? Yes, of course, but not something that I put the risk on for, so not something I'm gonna be disappointed about. Definitely want to capture this move, want to push this to highs. We're almost here on the contracts. Ask right now, 485. We can push these above 5. We're going to be pretty good. Looks like a 25% move there. If we're able to, or 20% move there, excuse me.
All right, looking around, team. See what we're getting out there. AMD held that kind of cut down through on a kind of deeper time frame. So if you guys are looking for stocks, we'll see what happens there. BTBT trying to go back up through 155. Tesla bounced off the VWAP. We'll see what happens there. SPY
bouncing here. Let's see if SPY in here. And let me bring the SPY chart up here. You have it up already?
Oh, I could put it up or whatever.
No, I just wanted to identify. So here, so this is the double bottom that we're talking about holding. What we really like to see on this bounce is a clear out of this area, right? This range we'd love to see come down. If that happens, I think you could probably see SPY run back towards the VWAP. We shall see if that's what ends up materializing. Looking good so far.
All right, so I got into that BTU, right? I did add right there back towards my entry. So still same 29.79, now starting to push through the 30s. Now that's when I'm going to look for that expansion above, back through these highs. It could just break out. This is a daily chart that I like the outlook there on BTU. And shout out to my man, Nomadic Trader out there. He actually put it on the radar for me, and I took my levels today. But like always, that's what it's all about, team. We'll see what happens. Doesn't look too bad. Look how the SPY comes up there. 409.50 has been an area where there's a lot of rejection, and it starts pulling back. Now let's see if we get that real ramp up towards the upside.
Sam, nice to see you again, Sam. What do you think about you? So I actually don't really have an angle on you. This is not a stock that I trade very often. Sorry, I'm keeping my eye here on Roku. Let's go. Those contracts, 495 ask. We are almost there. However, when we're taking a look at you, this area here, right, this range that we've pretty much been in since May of last year, looks like we're trying to take this out. It looks like we tried to do this in August of last year when as high as $59, only to come back into that range. But you can see here, this 42.14 level, let's call it 42, 42.15, anywhere around there. Looks like we're trying to actually break out of this range, Sam. So maybe a potential swing here if the market continues to cooperate. Really need some of these tech names to keep going. Now, we do have earnings coming in 6 days. Okay, so keep that in mind. I don't know if that's part of your plan to hold it through the earnings print. I certainly do not have an angle on what the earnings should look like or anything like that. Here we go on Roku. Keep going. So pretty decent position. If you want to take a swing here, I totally get it. But basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to play it for this break out of this 42 range, and maybe we'll trade back up towards 60. That's what we're looking at here, Sam. Like it. Samuel saying you looks bullish. Samuel, I agree. To my eye here, this does look a little bit bullish. It looks like it's actually trying to curl up and break out. I'm with you on that one. No position, but good spot there. Sam and Sam. Love it. Love it. All right. Roku through. We're going to put an order out for 515. All right, let's get it and filled. All right, so nice little 20% move there on those Roku contracts. Let me go back and put the chart up because still had you up here. So nice little move intraday here. Now this might not be done. This was a very, very small trade, but liked the area. Marky, shout out to you. I owe you a drink, my friend. That was a great call bringing it to us. We actually broke out of, look at this test. So this is exactly what we were waiting out, right? And this is while the SPY was trying to go back to that double bottom or to test that double bottom area. Roku really just kind of staying in this tight range. As soon as this bounce started to materialize, Roku started to push out of that. We also got the increased volume here. Now, I don't know where Roku's going to stay. I don't know if it's going to go any higher here. Maybe it really gets nuts and I end up regretting selling there. But 20% out of the gate here after getting stopped out yesterday on trade one, I'll take it.
All right, team. Taking a little bit more of a risky name here. Very, very BERI. Taking a little bit there. Looking for the push above towards 10. Yeah, I started seeing it get a little lift here, so I wanted to get a starter on there already to see if it just breaks out through 10. I could see it pull back a little bit, but from that being said, it's already getting the lift from the VWAP, so it might not come back towards this 57. Just put a starter there, looking to see if we can get the push through 10, and that's an AI name. How did I find this team? I wanted to let you guys know. How did I find Very? Well, you guys can check out Daily Stocks to Watch. Daily Stocks to Watch is actually live right now, but I'll give you guys the link to you guys check it out. My man Brent was talking about this one right now. Caught it, looked at the tape. It looked great. 997 showing up. Can we get the 10 breakout? Look at the SPY, 410 showing up. That's looking good for us on BTU. Also, Tesla now towards 413. Can it get through that 215 and start pushing higher? Really, 217 is the daily level that we're looking to break through the highs, right? Can we break back through these highs? 216, start pushing through the 218. We'll see what happens there. SPY is pushing now towards 410s. Let's see if we actually keep getting a drive now.
Couple of things here real quick. Number one, Roku continuing on that strength. Samuel giving you some information here. Bears got trapped on that increased bullish volume. Fourth one after the big bullish volume. You guys are going to make some money on Roku. Samuel, I am out. So anyone else, I'm a little quick on the trigger there, but again, I'll take it. Anyone else that's in there, this is materializing into a good trade. Maybe we get some more moves there. Another question to hear about INZY. Jay was saying it's trying again. Brandon asking, what are the levels? So what we were looking at on INZY, really this 3 to 340 range. We want to see this get taken out. The thing that was intriguing about this was how it was really kind of rolling over the VWAP here, right? It's really kind of hanging on that VWAP, hanging above that 3 level. Now we've had a knife here. We had a nice little push on volume, met with some sellers. So let's see where this materializes. No position here on INZY. We'll see if this ends up setting up for us again. But I think a move through the VWAP on volume and then a push away from that VWAP probably takes us to 320 again. If 320 falls, I think we do go to 340 here. One more thing. By the way, SPY bouncing and cleared out that range. So we just talked about that. Let me show you on the chart. Let's load up the SPY here. I'll go ahead and refresh my platform here. So this range right in here that we were kind of putzing around with, now we're trying to break out of it. We're trying to make that move back towards VWAP. Let's see if that continues here. One more thing that I wanted to take a look at here is going to be ADI, right? This is the potential swing trade, no entry as of yet, but we want to watch this, right? So here's ADI. We're kind of all over the place. Again, if we flip to the daily chart, let's review the plan before we actually get entry. So I'm going to turn the VWAP off here so we can see it. What we would really, really like is for this to come back in towards the bottom of this candle. That puts us at right about 191. We've seen some of these moves actually overshoot the bottom of that candle by just a little bit and then make another up move. So I would say here 190 also in play. We're waiting for prints in the 190 to 191 area. That would give us pretty good entry here. And then hopefully we curl back up towards the top of this hammer candle that we get on the gap. That puts us at what? 196? 196. So that's kind of what we're looking for. And then once we get back up to 196, providing we do, we'd like to see a pop above that and maybe a move here.
All right, good. SPY pulling back. We'll look to see if it holds VWAP.
Oh, and Al talking about AI. I believe you're talking about ticker AI. I got CNBC up here on another screen. They were interviewing the Cisco CEO. He had said that AI is going to be a multi-billion-dollar business for them. So look for that to affect some of the other AI names as well. In fact, if we go to an intraday chart here, let's see if AI's move up correspond. Yeah, a little bit. This is really it, right? So this trend line comes from the daily. That was the downtrend line that I just drew here today. I eyeballed it, so the levels are not to a penny by any means. But you can see here on this recent push up on this expanded volume, this did coincide with the interview that the Cisco CEO was giving on CNBC. I don't have volume, so I couldn't hear exactly what he's saying. I was just reading the chirons at the bottom. But definitely talking about AI, bullish on AI seems to be affecting some of the other names. One of the things that I'd like to check in on here is sound, not sound, SOUN. This was SoundHound AI, which also was giving us some moves here. Man, this is moving here too. So it took that range out. SoundHound, this actually a better intraday trader here than AI, at least so far. Boy, I'll tell you what, Roku, those red candles keep getting met with green candles. We might go higher here on Roku. Oh, come on, snow.
One of those days, team. One of those days. A lot of action, a lot of action.
I'm just thrilled that it's snowing outside, Mitch. I am so happy that it is snowing outside. I hope this turns into a full-on blizzard, my man.
Normally, I am not like this, but I am totally envious. I want the white stuff, man. Come on, Ryan.
Oh, careful, Mitch.
The only white stuff that makes me smile, at least. No, definitely do. I miss the snow. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I bet. I just
especially because coming from my kind of snow, right? Like Colorado.
Well, I mean, you were in Colorado, bro. You must have been just inundated with snow.
I still remember the days where you go outside and you have it like up to your knees, up to your literally like you're just walking and you're just like, holy moly. Here's the SPY trying one more time. Can we get through these 410 and start pushing higher? Can we get it? Can we get it a little higher? We'll look to see what happens there. Also in the got a lot of trades on, so we got to pay attention, stay alert. AI trying to push back there towards 26. We'll look to see if it gets there. A lot of action, team. Just keep watching, stay in the zone. We'll see what happens. I think it's good, especially if you're like Ryan and I that like work from home and you're not driving every day in snow.
That's the thing. And here's the thing, Mitch. The people that do have to go out, they absolutely hate me. They want to go mob style, bat to the knee, take me out whenever I start talking about how much I like snow. I get it. If you're commuting through it, it's a mess. It's difficult. Other drivers can make it unsafe. Totally get it. Totally get it. Be safe and all of that. But man, if you're at home, it's cool stuff. It's cool stuff. Snow is great until it's not. Yes, Valiant. Go well said. That is true. It's great if it's not affecting you, but if it is adversely affecting you, you can get upset. Really quickly, I was checking out BKKT here. Leonard was saying BKKT closing another major crypto partnership. Next crypto stop to absolutely skyrocket. So I don't know if that's the case. I do see some insiders in here. Were these buys or sells? These were disposed. They were selling. Looks like
trying to add as they're starting to hold here. SPY starting to hold 410s here.
Yep, disposed. I don't know what you're seeing here. I'd love to hear more about what it is that you're seeing. Well, we've traded BKKT off of a scanner. It was higher though when we traded it. Not sure on the long-term premise of this.
All right, adding the BTU there. Got 2972s now as my average here. SPY up through 410s. We'll look to see if it can continue running. We'll look for Vary to pop through 10. I'll take some profits towards 1020, and then look for that to continue going. The SPY now towards 410.26, new intraday high, and now starting to push through that pre-market resistance, which is the 410s. We really would want to see it kind of just really just drive for the bulls, right? We'll see what happens there. There's AI through towards 26. I know I was talking about that one a little earlier. It already started making that move there. We'll look to see if BTU can really push back to 30s, but SPY getting that nice little lift to 410.39s, very pushing on 10. Let's see if I get that push. Tesla still looking really good for me, team. We're in from 211s 51. Let's see if it can continue to work to the upside.
Bitcoin making a move up. Mara and Riot following suit. Oh, Mitch, you can put your chart back up. I'm still refreshing. Not
a worry, my friend. We'll keep going into the game here. SRNE. All right, let's take a look there. Ooh, cheap boy, but it is moving. It is moving. All right, let's get back towards the action. Let's go towards the 6 charts again. Bring this back to Tesla. There's 410.50s now showing up on the SPY. Can we get the push on BTU through the 30s? We'll look for that push there. And then look to see if Tesla can continue riding higher. It's that type of day. How did Microsoft do? Did it get back up towards the upside? Yes. That's one to keep watch, right? Microsoft pulled back yesterday. We started getting some pullback on that Microsoft chart. We didn't want to see it break down, right, through the 270s, but it did pull back here towards the 260s. Let's see if we can get back towards the 270s. That would look good there for Microsoft.
Yo, our penny players out in force here today. Philip looking at SRNE. Becca on SRNE since the open. After Becca,
I see you guys out there.
Yeah, I see you guys too. Becca, didn't you hit one? Didn't you hit a penny play yesterday too? And fuego, as they say. SRNE, this actually looks pretty decent here. Nice little move out of the gate here. But if we take a look at the daily chart, this is really kind of where it gets interesting. If this curl continues, maybe we can actually get a pretty outsized move here. I'd really like to see the buying volume pick up. You can watch this on, just over the course of the day, flip over to this chart, see if you see this volume increasing here. We get a couple of days like this and we get into this area. This could be gappy and this thing could move even quicker here.
I should have known. I should have known those traders were out there earlier. I was watching them. Dude, it's great in here. Let's get in.
What on earth is that?
Trash never felt so good, baby.
Oh,
dude, it's great in here. Let's go. Dumpster diving, baby. Dumpster diving for gold. You can't go wrong right now. This market is getting you that dumpster dive type of move. But hey, the truth is it's working. If it works, it works. Dumpster diving, baby. Everybody's going dumpster diving. They don't care.
TMDI yesterday. Okay. So this looks like it retraced some of its move, but holding in there. Let's see if this curls back up towards 34. See if this curls back up here. Mitch getting some laughs from the dumpster diving. Okay.
It's the truth. I mean,
Carmen, you're saying SRNE, was this was a bankruptcy issue? Looks like it's being mentioned on Reddit.
The Reddit traders. Dun, dun, dun.
Here we go. Joint statement by Sorrento Therapeutics on today's isolated Chapter 11 filing. Okay, so there you go. So good shout there, Carmen. One of the things that we've seen about these bankruptcy companies that although we get that filing, although we get that news, they seem to produce moves afterwards for whatever reason. Can't really explain it. Not my thing, but getting a move here today. Good shout there. Good shout there, though, Carmen. Keep that in mind here. We'll see where this bounce keeps going. We'll see where it ends up stopping. But yeah, it looks like there are bankruptcy filings out there. Trashy money still smells good. I'll take your word for that, Jared. I'll take your word for that. One person's trash is another person's treasure. That, you know what, Jay? That's actually a really good point. This is exactly what makes a market. So, and just to kind of compare this to SRNE, which has got, bankruptcy filings out. Look at the trade today. Look at the price, right? So even though there's that bad news out there, there are contrarians that are trading this. Volume is a little low. Just make sure you have a plan. Not my cup of tea, but again, that's what makes a market. I'm not always right. This is my cup of tea, by the way. Mitch, check out my teacup that I'm using today.
Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot. Hendrix, you gotta take it easy, my friend.
Oh, Hendrix does?
I got the Colorado one.
Oh, dude, go full screen on that. That's a sweet looking cup.
Right? Not bad, right?
But not at all, man. All right. We out here comparing coffee mugs. That's the level that
mugs
we've
on
reached.
mugs. What's the mug game? Like?
The mug game.
All right, let's see if we can keep pushing. SPY still pushing.
Roku holding up. I'll tell you what, this Roku has given you plenty of time to collect that 20%. And actually, if your entry was better than mine, you could have had more than almost 25%.
We do have Benzinga mugs. We got some mugs.
Yep.
I need to get one myself, though. I'm not gonna lie. Yep. I don't have one. I have some pretty cool mugs, though. I like collecting mugs.
I like collecting mugs too. I've got the Benzinga News That Moves mug. I was heartbroken. I actually got two, dropped one on my kitchen floor and broke it. And I was like, no. So I'm sure I can get another one though.
All right, we'll see what's going on there, team. Just
Brian,
keeping the positions going, man.
Brian, don't get it twisted, bro. Don't get it twisted. I am 2 cups of coffee deep already. I went to tea because I didn't want to overdo it so early with the coffee. I expect to have yet another cup of coffee after I have some lunch today. Looking at Honey Nut Cheerios for lunch too, just in case you were wondering.
Can't go wrong with a little Honey Nuts.
Oh man, let me tell you something. I have not outgrown being a kid when it comes to cereal. You give me a bowl of Fruity Pebbles or Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and I am going to be super happy. I will say I do use almond milk now, unsweetened almond milk in my cereal. It's got a nice little flavor to it. But Honey Nut Cheerios, Honey Bunches of Oats, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Fruity Pebbles, Lucky Charms, bro, I never want to grow up. Those cereals are so delicious. You could really go to town on cereal too. Got to be careful.
All right, Barry didn't want to get through that 10, but I got to be careful with that one. Don't want to be too pushing on that Barry, but we'll see what happens. SPY holding towards 410.50s. We'll look to see if we get back up there. Holding 410s is what I really want to see. I don't want to see too many closes below 410 because that could get us back to the VWAP. We want to keep on the resistance and make the resistance the new support.
Sorry.
You're good.
So Sarah, grats to the chat. I was not on this today.
I at least brought it up. I brought it up at least today.
This is what we were trying to have happen yesterday. This was the move. Okay. So you have a little bit of a push up to a level defined 225. And if we zoom in, you can see on the 1 minute chart here, we actually butted up against that 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 4 times we butted up to 225 on the penny. And then look what happened. You get the volume expansion at that level. Look at the stick. Get your crosshair on there. Bang, right through it. Giving you a good trade here. I did not hit this today, but it looks like our chat did. Awesome stuff, folks. Again, I got to be honest. I'm really, really encouraged to see some of the performance of our chat community here. Really, really encouraged. Absolutely love it. Conga saying you have a gallon of American coffee. It's just water with color. So full disclosure, my 2 cups of coffee today were Nespresso shots. And what I do is I then top it off with hot water. So I make an Americano, if you will. But I believe I'd have to look on the box where the beans were from. They were Pete's brand, really, really good, really dark and an intense flavor, even made into an Americano.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch for
I
the
mean,
win.
I don't even keep it in the house anymore, Mitch, because I like to think of myself as a disciplined fellow, but there are sometimes some things that make me show my weaknesses, and Cinnamon Toast Crunch is one of those things. If I kept Costco sized boxes of Cinnamon Toast Crunch at my house, I'd be eating it all the damn time. All the
Breakfast
damn
for
time.
dinner, baby. Breakfast for dinners. Only for the winners, baby.
Who else? Nespresso. Yes. Who else is part of the Nespresso fam? It is so good being able to have coffees that taste different without flavoring them with creams and things like that. Oh, it is to die for. Nespresso FTW.
All right, the battle's on right now. Can we get towards 411 on the SPY? We're back up towards the 410.50s for the SPY. Can we get through that level towards the 411? That's what I'm going to be looking for now. And what did we do? We held 410s on pullbacks. Look for that too to stay on the trend to the upside. You see that bottom chart for me? You see how I put that line there? That helps me also just not even stress about where the SPY is going. Just when it cracks that line, that's when it could come back to the VWAP. Doesn't mean it's going to break down. But
you're talking about that white line on that up candle there on SPY? Yep, gotcha.
Yep, right there.
I can't read the number from my screen, but I got you.
That's the 5-minute chart there. You guys see it, right? And so that's not what we're watching. And why would we watch that? Look to the left in the pre-market. Look how this was kind of that resistance area to recover, right? Well, now that we're holding on the pullbacks there, we don't even want it to come back to 409.50. Forget the VWAP bounce. Let it just keep trending to the upside. You could even do, if you wanted, just a trend line from here, right? 3 points is what makes a trend. 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we get that 411 push towards the upside here, and then we can keep pushing higher and higher, climbing that wall of worry right back.
Pete's French roast, black, no cream, no sugar. Oh, be still my heart. Honorable mention too to Major Dickinson's blend, which is my favorite.
Pete's is not bad coffee at all.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
I used to get pizza every morning back when I used to.
I'll take Pete's over Starbucks every single day of the week and 3 times on Sunday.
It reminds me when I used to be a manager at 7-Eleven, trade in the morning, get my team to cover me. I used to go trade at Pete's and then come back to manage the rest of the day.
Okay. That sounds like a typical retail manager. Oops, sorry.
Hey, maybe you know it. Still got to do some action out there.
Hey, so I want to tell a little bit of a story where I kind of took an L. Okay, this is not market related, Mitch. So if you have anything, if anyone else has anything out there,
watching the
please
SPY
interrupt me.
480s. That's it.
I will be brief. Roku continuing higher, by the way. So I have a coworker here, BZ Jake, as he's known, and he's been telling me for a long time that when you go to Chipotle, you really got to try the vinaigrette. Now, it's not a menu.
Hell
item.
yeah. Hell
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad, Mitch, you're going to love this. So it's not a menu item. And I wasn't really aware of this. Some of my teammates are big pranksters. So I thought what he was trying to get me to do was to go into a restaurant, ask for something that was not on the menu, only to be embarrassed. So I ended up not doing this. Well, I had Chipotle yesterday because I was taking care of some errands, and there was a Chipotle out there, chicken burrito, by the way. And I noticed that they had the vinaigrette in the little cup. So I said, "Hey, is that the vinaigrette?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Let me try that." I got to say, it was absolutely delicious. I used it as like a little sauce on top of the burrito. It was absolutely delicious. I was totally wrong. I should have asked for it a little bit sooner. Mitch, it sounds like you are aware of the vinaigrette game. So I just want to go ahead. I take the L myself. I would say to the rest of you, if you folks like Chipotle, try the vinaigrette. You will not be disappointed. Golden Brown says the vinaigrette is bomb.
Like you'll even see some people give you the face, but like you just got to ask for it. That's just straight off the back. You ask for that vinaigrette. That vinaigrette makes it right. I'll tell you that.
So BZB, you're talking about railroad stocks. So what are the railroad stocks that you're looking at? This is an interesting one because we recently just had that derailment in Ohio that caused a chemical spill that was kind of not being talked about for a little bit. So some of these railroad stocks are kind of interesting. I want to watch some of them. I'll be honest, this is not something that I watch all the time. Now, I'll go ahead and Google a list here. I'll go find what
I got you. I
you
got you,
got
my
it.
friend.
Let's do it. Mitch,
Simple as that.
always there
This
for the
doesn't take
team.
long, right? That's one thing that I'm really good at, team relationships, right? You tell me a railroad, I'll just go to the industry and work backwards, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to set it by RSI daily. This will show us what stocks are strong on the railroad. A really cheap one here, just to keep it in mind, is RAIL, rail. You can see that pattern, how it's continuing, but that's a $3 one. CSX, now we're talking more of a known railroad, right? Look at that setup back towards above 3250s, below 3050s. So you're kind of in this rectangle pattern right here. You want to see what happens. Do you get above that or below that? And look at the long-term trend line here on the weekly. You need to get back above that if you're going to break above the weekly trend line also. RSVN, another one, a cheap one. We'll look to see if that gets back there to 2. CP, Canadian Pacific Railroad. Look how this has been holding in here. Some stocks look way better on a monthly. Look at the CP on a monthly, and now that's holding the 9 EMA pullback. It's almost like a regression line in between there. You can buy it probably when it's below it and look to sell it when it's above it. Doesn't look too bad. We'll look to see if we get there 283 and 84. All right, stocks are still pushing. Just want to keep that in mind. Very is getting a little lift. I'm just keeping an eye out. I got a lot of positions open right now. I got about 1, 2, 3 day trades. I got about 2 swing trades on. So you just got to keep watch on everything, team. We'll keep pushing. But yeah, CP doesn't look too bad. UNP is on the big pullback, right? Look at this one. This one doesn't look as strong. So look to see if this one can actually turn around the trend. NSC is starting to come back. But to tell you the truth, I don't know if this is really showing me a trend. The only thing that I was really kind of watching was more this daily kind of trend here that the railroads were trying to come back. But I'll tell you one thing. The railroad's a very sleepy trade. It's kind of one of those ones that you just put on and you just let it try to work for you and keep the risk small.
Real quick here, Nathan saying nothing better than watching Benzinga and being up 60% on my SPY calls. Nathan, that is amazing. We will absolutely take that amazing props. We are glad that you're here too. And we're even more glad that you are up 60% on a trade that you pulled the trigger on. Congratulations, man. Make sure you keep those gains in your pocket. Absolutely love hearing stuff like that. Al saying, INZY looking like it wants to go. So remember what the last time that I took a look at this, we said we wanted to kind of get above that $3 level, which we've identified here. Want to have a build above the VWAP. We did kind of pop above that VWAP. Suppose that gave you really only 10 cents there. Let's see if we can get a bigger move here, right? We want to see this now. I think maybe if we take out 315, we could go to 340 next here. For me, stop low a day here, 292. I would say if this breaks 292, this is probably going to keep selling off here. If you can get this closer to 3, you can make your risk reward profile a little bit better. So just be patient here. And you know what? Get the ticker pad. I'm going to follow my own advice, get a pen out, and we're going to write this one down, because if this doesn't go here, maybe it does. Maybe it does a little bit later today. By the way, let me know if any of you are pen fanatics like I am. Picked up a new one in Arizona that was custom made.
All right, team, looking for the final add on the push back towards the VWAP here on BTU. If I do get the push, I'm going to add towards the breakout towards 30. We'll see if we get it or not. I'll let you guys know. And like always, you guys got to stick to the levels. Look at the SPY, keep pushing, right? And so BTU now, going to look for a little push here. We'll add through 77, put the stop there to just add on the last little momentum push. I'm going to look for a nice little push there towards the 30 there. We'll see what happens here. Let's see the SPY continuing now. Look at Tesla. Tesla 216. We might get to the 217 high, right? If we get through that, all right, I mean, we're not looking bad. 211.50s. All right, not looking bad on Tesla today. Letting the market push it higher, right? That's what's happening here. That little pullback actually helped Tesla. And if you look at the SPY on the hourly chart, this could have been a fake out to the downside. Now we come back up and break 415. So I'm going to stay in the bullish game until we break 408, like I talked about in the pre-market.
Real quick here, Valiant Goat, you're shouting out here that was a bot. So you're exactly right. And I want to apologize for giving that bot any type of speaking time. I was fooled. And I'm sorry about that. I will work on doing better. Appreciate this.
There's always bots out there, too.
I know. And it drives me crazy. I do my best. I do my best, but I make some mistakes, and I made one today. So I made one.
Not a worry, team. Not a worry. We'll keep it rolling, and that's what it's all about, team. Let's keep pushing. Let's see what happens out there. And CSX is trying to make a little lift there. I saw AI did get through that 26, now holding up a little bit. SPY overall, where's Microsoft? A little bit higher, not really ripping out there. Your Roku trade, though, shout out to you there. That's been just on a nice stair step up. We'll see what happens on that one as it gets back there towards daily highs.
I remember mine is closed for a gain, but it was Markey down here that really kind of brought it back. We talked about it in the pre-market from the movers list, but Markey with the shout when it bottomed and curled. And that is exactly the type of trading that we're trying to do. I normally do them on small caps. I had tunnel vision. I was looking at small caps. We saw Markey in the chat here, bring it up, able to make a successful trade off of that. I know Markey's not a bot because he's helping us make money here. Also, now talking about PLTR. PLTR bounced and going to test highs. I'm going to flip to my chart here real quick, Mitch. This is what we're seeing. So we did end up bouncing that 965 level, absolutely being used as support. We've now moved through the VWAP here. 1028 is going to be your pre-market high. This is about 4 or 5 cents higher than yesterday's intraday high, which would also be a nice level to take down here. So we'll see if PLTR, let me go back there. I clicked the wrong thing. We'll see if PLTR can actually get some juice. I have no position in this. I've swung this before, however, and would not be opposed to doing it again. Great shout.
All right, Very, can you give me the breakout? Come on. I'm looking at it, team. Let's see if we get this breakout on Very. Of course, this is kind of more of your smaller name. I have 981s. Let's see if we can get the breakout through the 10. I'll take some profit towards 1020, which is that pre-market resistance, right? Right before that, I want to take some profit. It's 1022. I'll do 1020s and take that. And then I'm going to look for the expansion above. But look at the daily chart on Very. If this can get above this daily high on Monday, 1099, who knows? It could have 12, right? Why not? Let's see the next levels there on the daily chart. You can see here how you could come back here towards where this broke down eventually, which is towards a 13-15 move. We'll look to see if we get above through 11, and then I might swing it all the way up there towards 12 and 13s. Who knows? Very. All right, Coin. Oh, remember Coin yesterday, team? I definitely took the profits a little bit quick in Coin. That was a monster.
Mitch, I might be saying that about Roku today, so don't even feel all that.
Yeah, that's how it is. I don't feel bad about those trades, though. Like, I don't feel bad when a stock runs. If anything, I felt like I was on the right trade, right? When you see a stock run, pass, way past your reward, well, just tell yourself. I mean, at least I was seeing the trend there.
James, I have appreciation for this comment. I did botch it. I'm actually going to tell you this right now. I am going to take this comment and I am going to repackage this and reuse this. I like this one. And you are absolutely right. I did botch it.
All right. Keeping a close eye. Tesla now to 216.67. SPY just trying to continue the trend. Trend's your friend until it isn't, right? Let's keep a close eye, team.
Asking chatter out there, what really get the name? Mr. Ears. That's an interesting name.
Mr. Ears.
Asking, did we see Amazon? So we generally, Bitcoin big pop here. Let's go. Don't forget to sell your Bitcoins to Therapist if you're an EFT player. A little bit later today, needs about an hour to update, I would imagine. As far as Amazon goes here, yeah, we do watch Amazon. It's kind of off the radar here today, but a nice little move off that bounce. We're now through the VWAP here. Amazon, for me on Amazon, this is more of a longer term trade, just because I love the service so much. and I've been using, I think I've been an Amazon Prime member since like 2009. Something like that. I love my Amazon subscription. I love the stock. For me, this is more of a longer term thing. I generally don't trade this in the short term. I'd want to own this. I currently don't have any of it, so would really like to get this on a move. I'm actually kicking myself because honestly, I do feel like I missed a really, really good entry when we traded down here to this 81 level. And shame on me too, because I had several people in the happy hour show for pro members saying that, look, Amazon low 80s, that's your buy zone. Boy, were they right. And I straight up missed my chance. Hoping I'll get another one. We'll see. But again, for me, Amazon more of a long-term play than a short-term play.
Amazon stopped me out. Remember, I was swinging it yesterday long. I got it up there towards 100 in the morning, and it popped up there. I took some profits at 100, stopped out today through the 99 spot. So it's trying to recover that 100. We'll see if it gets right back up. Could have just been a fake out, right? SPY showing a little bit of sign of slowing down. How can you tell that? Is you can use speed lines, right? There's such thing, what's called a speed line. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that.
I've never used this, no.
So right now it's on a trend line, but I'll show you what a speed line is, right? So they have these things called speed lines, right? So this is a speed line. And so one thing that you can do is you want to put it on the trend and see where the speed of the trend is going, right? So above the trend, that's the breakout to the upside. That's that 411. You can get pullbacks. What does this do is this tells us a little bit of the speed of the trend. Pullback towards around 410.25 doesn't seem bad as long as we don't break that 410 now. And that's a prior resistance that became support. We don't want to see that break. And if it can reclaim this top line, that's where you're seeing the trend really get another expansion move higher. And these are called speed lines. If you guys want to check it out, it's a technical term and also an indicator that you guys can be putting on your charts. We'll see what happens. There's the Tesla alert, team. 217s, 15s. We're going to take some profit here, team. Not a bad move there. Let's go. Let's go. We take some profits right here. Boom. I just took it at 216.94s. Maybe I could have got 217.06 or whatever. Not going to stress too much about that. Was trying to get it back here towards the 217 area and taking some profits there. Half out there from 211.51 team. So not a bad little 6 points or 5.5 on that gain there. We'll look to see if Tesla can keep going higher. That's about a 2.6% gain on that. I'll look to see if it can continue, but I want to take some profits now that we're getting back there towards the daily highs, and we could keep pushing. There's no reason why we can't get to 220 there on Tesla today. I'll keep letting it try to work.
Shifron asking, Ryan, Benzinga Pro has 3 subscription options. What are the benefits of each? Can't really go into all of that here on live trading, but just to kind of give you a primer, there's 3 different length options: monthly, quarterly, and annual. The more that you prepay for, the cheaper your overall price. So if you want to save the most, go for the annual. If you can't shell out money for the annual, go for the monthly. Be sure to talk to our onboarding team so that we can find you the best possible price. You were asking about the 3 different levels. I'm assuming you're referring to basic, essential, and options mentorship. Basic basically just gives you the news. Your price quotes are delayed, but the news is real time, and you have some of the features are gated off. This is for people that really need to review the news, maybe after the fact. Maybe you've got a day job. You need to kind of go through the news and make a plan when you get home. Really suitable subscription, able to save some money there. Essential is the flagship product. That is going to be real-time everything. The only thing it doesn't come with is the enhanced option content. So that is the unusual option activity signal. That's what you see down here in my Pro. Let me go ahead and flip my screen on here. That does not come with Essential. That is an add-on. Options Mentorship gives you access to the add-on as well as Nick Shaheen's expert option trading, right? There's a chat room in there. You can live trade with him all day. Really our top option dedicated to option players. Nick really does a lot of credit spreads. So keep that in mind if that's something that you want. If you're interested, you can shoot me an email. I'll find you one of my onboarding teammates to make sure we go down all of the different services we have, and we will find the right one for you. Mitch, remember, we have no market on Monday.
No market on Monday.
It is
What?
Are you aware? February
What?
20th. February 20th
What?
is President's Day and the market is closed. So do
Yes,
not show up.
it
Do
is.
not be that guy. Obviously, we are not going to have YouTube content that morning. So just wanted to kind of give you a preview there. Market is closed on Monday.
Final fill for BTU hit there. We're starting to push now into the 80s. Let's see if we can really push. 29.73 is my average. Looking for BTU through 30s here. Will we get the breakout there on BTU? Peabody. Shout out to my boy out there. Nomadic Trader. Put it on my radar. He's in our chat sometimes. So definitely shout out to him.
INZY, you guys were mentioning that before. This is trying to take that next leg up. Looks like this is a little bit more of a grinder on INZY, so we might not get that big pop, quick trade, take your gains type move. This might be one you have to stick in a little bit more, but this 3 level seems to definitely be key. Again, stop here, as we outlined before, would have been the 292, a break of that low a day. So this is looking pretty good.
All right.
Roku's kind of slowed down here. Those contracts we were trading, they are a 525 ask right now. So still gave you that 20%, still kind of hanging out there. Looks like it's rolling over a little bit here now, but Roku been strong all day.
All right, we'll look to see if we get that big push there. Looking for BTU to push through. Very keeps rejecting that 10 move. I'm giving it a chance, but I'll get into the point where I'm about to just ticker time bomb out of that.
Beans and rice. No, you cannot actually execute trades. However, what you can do is you can import your broker to create a watch list of your current positions in Pro, which you can then use as an active filter on other tools, right? So if you have your broker positions imported as a watch list, you can apply that to the news feed, only see news about your stocks. You can apply that to the other tools to only see the content for the stocks that you own. So there is some functionality. We are hoping to expand it in the future, but right now, no, you cannot execute trades from Pro. You would continue to do that from your broker. And that's what I do, right? That's why some of the times Mitch will flip over to my screen and I'll be talking about a different stock, because I have that stock pulled up in my broker and not in Benzinga Pro. Good question, though.
Yeah, and that's why you see me being, and you guys see me use like different charting also. And the reason why is that we got to have tools. At the end of the day, I don't feel that one tool is enough ever. I always feel like have tools that support you. And if you need some other tools, go ahead and pay for them. I say this countless times, team. You got to have the tools to support your style of trading. For me, that's sector industry analysis. You're asking if I'm using TradingView. This is TC 2000. It's really an old school type of charting platform that's been around for a very long time. But of course, one thing that you'll also see is what? I'll just pull the window in there for you guys to see it, right? And what do I have to the right of me? Well, I have Benzinga Pro. So you got to have your screens, right? I got my screens all over, team. And then also what's important is having like different things already ready for you on your Benzinga Pro. Have it set up the way that you want it. Use these tabs at the top to give you an advantage where I don't have to click on things on the left-hand panel. I could even put it away and just use all my screen real estate.
That's exactly right, Mitch. That's exactly right. And by the way, while we were talking there, Sarah trying to break those highs and move higher here. SERA. I'm not in this. Grateful to God you've been on this from the beginning.
Yep. We see you, Grateful. Keep at it, man. We always wish the best for everyone out here.
That's right.
Whether you're short, long, sideways.
Good question, Kennedy. Great question. I just full disclosure, my own personal bias here. I absolutely hate Facebook, and I refuse to trade this stock. I often don't look at this stock. So, but you have a great question, and I'm happy to analyze it. So, first of all, the floating island for me, this would have been invalidated, right? This is actually one of the rare cases where this happens. I've often said that floating islands more often than not resolve to the upside. If I had to assign a percentage, I would say it's probably 70%. That doesn't mean that you're going to be successful 70% of the time. You could very easily get a head fake, but the performance. Now, if we take a look at meta here, to me, this is what we're talking. And I'll flip to ADI. We'll take a look at ADI right after this because that's the one that's setting up. This is kind of what we were looking at, right? We pushed up towards the high. We came back in and we kind of rolled over, but we actually broke beneath this candle. The interesting thing here for Meta is that although we broke beneath the candle, we tried to get back up into that range and we really couldn't. We really couldn't. We've actually continued to roll over here. So for me, this one is an L, right? This did not materialize the way that we had hoped. Now, could it reverse right here? Could they put out some good news, get back into that and go higher? Sure, it could, but that's not what the plan was from the beginning. So it would not be fair to say that this would be a winning trade in hindsight, right? We don't want to do that. Instead, we're going to look for a different opportunity. So we'll flip over to ADI. This is the one I mentioned earlier here today. Again, what we want to see, or what I would like to see, is a pullback towards the bottom of this stick. And then instead of breaking it like we did on Meta, we'd actually like to see that curl back up here. Now, sometimes with these floating islands, we actually don't even get a full test of the bottom of that stick. So you can see here today, sure, ADI did come in a little bit, got to about halfway down the candlestick, but really didn't get all the way down to 191. So for me, I generally try to take the more conservative approach on these trades. I have no position yet because this did not sell off enough. If this ends up breaking the top of this candle and goes, it's going to go without me. It didn't follow my plan, so I'm not going to be in it. But what I would like to see, I'd like to see this come in a little bit more, be able to grab it, and then curl back up towards the top. So really great question and great example there with Meta. Meta is an example where this pattern has been invalidated on it. Jury is still out on ADI, but we will keep checking on it. And if I forget, do not hesitate to remind me.
All right, let's keep it going, team. We're almost wrapping up. About 5 minutes left here. We'll start getting the wrap up in a second here. Just keeping an eye out on all the trades that are going on. It's been that type of day where it started red, started coming back. We'll look to see if we can stay in the green towards the close.
Bitcoin did cross that 25K mark. We're actually still above it. Bitcoin really strong today. Interesting stuff here on Bitcoin. Easy Mike saying we made a bundle off of 4K. 4K, 24K? Is that what you mean? I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Easy Mike. RDW. Let's take a look at RDW here. Really just kind of holding in there, right? Holding right along that VWAP, sideways trading. Gotta say, at some point, it's not going to be this price. We are either going to break up or break down. I don't know what we're going to do next here, but if you're interested in this, watch this. There is going to be a trade at some point. And again, if you take a look at this VWAP, look at yesterday, man. I'm sorry. I take full responsibility for not having this on my radar yesterday. This would have been a great one. You really could have just rode this the entire day by looking just at the VWAP. So Kennedy, thanks for putting this on the radar here. We will continue to watch this one. See if we get another trade setup. No position, haven't traded this one, but we'll see if we get a setup for this.
All right, team, we're going to start wrapping up here. I still have some trades on, so I'm just going to keep trying to work them. We're going to start wrapping it up, though.
Take care,
BTU, I'll look to see it get back above the 30s. Tesla, we'll look to see if it can continue to hold the VWAP for the day. VWAP is 213.59. Want to stay along until that spot. See if it could keep pushing, but we are starting to get a little pullback in the SPY. We could come right back to 410s. We got up there to 411.55s, 411.67, the intraday high. We'll see what happens there in the market if we can continue to push higher. You guys have a great one. Like always, keep battling in the markets. We never know if it's going to go up or down. The only thing we can do is come in with an approach, right? And like always, try to stay in the zone. Try to not to get distracted by all the noise that's out there. I hope you guys stick around with everything that Benzinga does. We will not have Benzinga Live next. But, of course, I will be back for Start Swing Trading. Don't want you guys to miss that. 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. It's our latest show. I'll be trying to take some more swing trades. I put on UAL earlier today. So if you guys want to hear the update on UAL or the update on some of these other trades, right, you guys come tune in. That's going to be Start Swing Trading, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And like always, Ryan might be hopping in there sometimes when he has some swings. So
I'm gonna try.
keep it in
I'm gonna
mind.
try. I really like this ADI idea for a potential swing trade, and I still have some stuff I'm invested in. I don't want to talk about those. I want to talk about new trades, and I think I got one here today. So, Mitch, I am going to make an attempt here to join that show later today. Things get out of hand. I apologize in advance, but I'm going to try.
Thank you guys, like always, for joining us right here on Live Trading. Please smash the like. Let everybody know this is the trading community that you want to be part of, a truly supporting one. See you next time, team.